here, Id.
Looking for a way to save Roland.
This place is replete with his memory.
We really appreciated it, you chipping in to rescue Roland.
I owe him just as much as you do. More, even.
I feel bad intruding on his home without permission, but there might be clues around. Wanna help us search?
Hello there. Did I hear you mention Roland?
Huh? Oh yeah, you a friend of his too?
So my ears didn't deceive me. We've met before, remember? At the docks of Tempeel.
Oh, you're the guy that told us about hallowed ground.
The very same. But, back to Roland. Would you happen to know where he is? I can't seem to get in touch.
Oh, he's...
He might not come back, actually.
What? When did you become a glass-half-empty kind of person? There's gotta be a chance. It might take half a miracle, but...
That's fine. I just wanted to be sure he was safe. Knowing Roland, he'll probably wander in through that door when we need him most. Though, to be honest, I hope that's sooner rather than later.
Why's that? Something wrong?
Well, as you may know, in addition to being a vicar, Roland was the local Mr. Fix-It. And I'm not just talking repairs. Monster hunting, herb picking, he was a real lifesaver. But now that Roland's gone, there's tons of work that's going unfinished.
I'll do it.
Huh?
I'll take up his mantle.
Ah, this is so painful to watch. Will somebody please teach this kid to speak like a normal person?
I think Id meant to say he just wants to be helpful now that Roland's gone. Right, Id?
Right.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you. But, how do I put this? We were comfortable asking Roland for favors because we trusted him. While you certainly look like an upstanding young man, you're still a stranger. No offense.
But
We'll help out too.
Great idea! Hey, mister, we aren't strangers. What if we tagged along?
Well, all right, if you insist. I have to say, though, you've done so much for our city. I feel guilty piling more work on you.
you sure about this, Captain?
Yeah. It's what Roland would want.
Thanks.
Well, now that everything's settled, I'll forward all our jobs to the Crew Alliance Reform. Whenever you feel like taking something on, head over to the quest counter. Thank you again, and best of luck. Hey, it's everyone's favorite crew! Perfect timing, as usual. Truth is, I just put out an urgent cry for help. We got a caravan strong-armed by goblins in Skyworm Valley. I'm looking for folks to beat off the half-beasts and retrieve the stolen goods. Might be a tough battle, but think you can head out now?
Yeah.
Knew I could count on you. Take care of yourselves, you hear?
Today's Id's Big Fixer-Upper.
our debut. Let's all do our best to help him.
Find the goblins, recover the supplies. Sounds simple enough.
It will be. Combat's your forte,
Don't mind
isn't
if I
it?
do.
And there's our gobbers.
I'll make this quick.
Unfurl your bluff. Back in the game. Leave it to me. Let's all support. Great work.
I'll always be by your side. Full bloom. Spiral road. Crimson thorn.
It's over!
Full bloom. Follow me. Will do. Stay alert.
You got
Lead the way.
You lead the way.
Got its shield! Nice shot! Look out! Here comes the backup brigade!
We'll manage. Keep picking them off.
Dang it. Glad you're on our side now. This is a cakewalk.
Hear that it?
I did.
Let's just focus on the path ahead.
That's that. Let's grab the stuff and get out of here.
This should be it. Let's move on.
Something's watching us. Stay sharp.
More goblins. But they shouldn't be much of a threat.
I don't know. Kind of weird they're attacking such a small band.
Agreed. Though I don't sense reinforcements.
That's the worst!
On my mark.
Armor press!
What do you think? Even the sweetest
The wyvern!
It's called Skyward Valley for a reason. Brace yourselves, everyone.
Sure explains why there weren't many goblins.
No. Local goblins should know how to defend themselves against wyverns. There must be more at play. It's over! They didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
Let's keep it up.
guess you're right.
You're not wrong. You want more, don't you? What do you think? Cut them down! Bury them.
Amazing as ever, Catalina.
All in a day's work.
Here's the flying lizard, but no sight of the stuff we came for.
We'll just have to keep looking. Let's go. What do you think? Do forgive me. Let none escape. Next time, let's really show them what we're made of. Understood.
You got it.
If you insist.
This crew is something else.
And here I can go all day long. Leave it to me.
I'll finish this.
It's over!
Do you guys ever wonder how Roland was handling all these quests by himself?
He certainly has a knack for them, doesn't he? You really can leave it to Mr. Fix-It.
Hey, did you guys see that? Something big just flew by.
Not part of the brief, not part of our problem.
Another goblin. Let's take it out before it notices us.
Time to jump!
Sure.
I've got them! Here's our chance!
Indeed.
Okay.
Let's see. Don't mind if I do.
That will work! Healing
Try to heal up fast.
Full bloom! Enough of you! Take my sword!
Perish!
Shall we conclude now?
Goodbye now.
What's this?
More of them. Here they come.
Something's wrong. They're all running, but not from us.
Doesn't matter. Came here to do one thing. Destroy them.
Unfurl your blood.
Appreciate it.
What do you think?
It's over!
All together!
You have my
Understood.
blade.
None
Perish!
Come on, guys! The fun's just getting started!
Quite right. Caution
Let's
before
move.
valor, as they say.
Hit them now! Take this!
I'm behind you.
We turned the tide.
Yes, very well done. What do you think?
Another goblin band? What gives?
I don't know, but it looks like our hunch was right.
Granblue!
Enough of
Here we
That was
are.
the last. Now let's retrieve those supplies. Not bad.
That's 2 of 3 accounted for. So now we should have just one more.
Didn't know you were such a poet. That wasn't half bad.
Oh, Catalina! You sounded just like Sierra.
Wait, no, my sense of humor is far less upon reliant.
I don't get it. Was something humorous just now?
Oh, it's nothing, Mid. Don't break your brain over a little joke.
What joke? Ready.
Don't worry, you'll do better next time.
I smell mirage stones.
Look at all the glowing stones. Let's try to nab every last one.
Easy as pie.
Let's see. Okay. Not bad.
All right, enough messing around. There's the last supply pack.
We have to take out these goblins first.
You have my aid.
Could have gone better.
We'll get you to smile someday.
I'll do
You
it.
take the lead. We're making quick work of them.
Of course.
What was that? Stay alert.
No way! Nobody said anything about a griffin!
Well, this explains why the goblins were fleeing. No one wants to be griffin lunch.
Wasn't in the request.
The water's gone!
Can't have it stirring up any more monsters. In which case, better take it down.
Hey, now you're starting to sound like a real Mr. Fixer.
Just what I needed.
Come, Crimson Thorn!
My will lives in this blade!
Fall now, Crimson
Rosetta, I'm here to help.
Solid Clone!
Captain!
Way ahead of me! Watch out!
I've got it!
Shine as one! Absolute zero!
It's over!
We'll do it again. Not going. Proceed with caution. It's going to charge. Get out of its path. There's nothing I feel better already.
Here comes healing! I'll heal you!
Are you okay? Beautiful. Behind her you go. I'm going to make this hurt so good. Keep it up and the day will be ours. There's no telling what it will do with its back corner. Be careful.
Come, Crimson Thorn!
Healing light. Take my thorn.
Vegeta!
You want more? Don't. A bloom for any season. Welcome to my garden. Superb! Full bloom!
It's over!
Don't play too hard now.
Just what I needed. To the front!
Before you down! A few more shots and Bird Brains is done for!
A bloom for any season. The time is come. Here they come.
Don't take your eyes off!
Perfect. It's on its last leg. Get him, man. On it.
Keep your cool, everyone. Oh no! Be careful. There's nothing to fear.
That sure was an adventure!
Mission, quest complete. Now to bring the items back to the client.
Yeesh, you're all business, huh?
Go easy on him. He's so new to all this.
Hey, I heard about the job. Thanks a million.
You should be thanking Id.
Yep, we couldn't have done it without him.
Id, the citizens of Tempeel would be honored if you kept serving our city. And I'm sorry that I ever doubted you.
Why be sorry?
I think Id meant to say that you don't need to apologize. That he's happy to help. Right, Id?
Yeah.
Iria? When did you learn to speak Id?
I mean, doesn't he remind you of a certain someone? Right? I've heard rocks who talk more than these two.
I speak plenty.
I think. Don't worry about it. You know what they say. Silence is golden.
Exactly. You might not talk the talk, but you certainly walk the walk. I know this city will be safe in your hands.
They never would have trusted me without your help. So thank you.
No worries. Let's make Roland proud.
We owe that guy our lives. Least we could do is help him with the housekeeping.
Yep. Not to mention, we even found his journal. Talk about a coinky-dink.
It truly is a priceless keepsake. His memories are etched across these pages.
He must have been super busy putting out fires to drop this and not even notice.
I don't know. Our boy Roland sounds exactly like the type to have his head in the clouds.
You know, if we keep running errands, maybe we'll find more of his belongings.
Good point. By retracing his footsteps, we could discover a way to rescue him.
Speaking of his footsteps, Id, if I may, there's one point I would like to emphasize.
What?
Skill wasn't the only reason Roland was so beloved. There was also the way he carried himself. How gentle he was.
That's for sure. I'd ask Roland for directions in a heartbeat. On the other hand, you always look like you just sniffed a garbage can.
So what should I do?
You could try smiling more?
Okay.
That's how someone would smile if they were sitting on hot coal.
Oh, I know! Id, why don't you try acting like Roland? We can start with how he talks. Just leave it to Mr. Fix-It. Now your turn.
Just leave it to Mr. Fix-It.
Wow. We've got a long way to go.
That wasn't so bad. What's next? Looks useful.
Yes, can I help you?
The Nautilus is skyworthy?
I wasn't sure which was greater, the helmsman's confusion or Kent's enthusiasm.
Yep. We've got one last bit of patching up to do, but she'll be ready before you know it. Isn't that exciting?
Unexpectedly, the helmsman's confusion shifted into something darker. I decided to pry. Yeah, we'll have you back at the helm in no time. Unless you're getting cold feet or something. Yep, hit the nail on the head. The look in his eyes was unmistakable. He feared the skies. Despite his attempts to hide it, his fists were balled up and trembling. I knew the signs well enough. It wasn't my place to snoop further. From his perspective, I was just a busybody trying to dredge up a dream he'd long laid to rest. What could I do anyway? This was something he had to deal with himself. But hey, if I got through it, anyone could. So I did what I could. I put my hand on his shoulder and gave him a sympathetic nod.
If it were me in his shoes, I'm sure I'd be worried sick about my parents, too. There's nothing wrong with worrying about your parents. I'm sure they're proud to have a son who cares so much.
But
what? Something was still on his mind.
I always wanted to be a great doctor, just like my mom and dad. But after my mom collapsed, I started thinking maybe everybody else was just using them.
Along the way, he'd stopped being able to trust the people of Folka, and he thought feeling that way meant he could never follow in his parents' footsteps. Lev stared at the ground as he spoke, finally confiding his troubles to me. After hearing his story, I began to open up about my own parents. He listened to my words in silence. My parents had also strained themselves too hard after getting sick, and eventually passed away. So Lev's circumstances were all too familiar. Just like him, I felt nothing but bitterness and despair. But there was one difference. I've got to admit, I envy you a little. After all, your mom and dad are still alive and well. While we were standing there talking, Lev's parents and the villagers were probably beside themselves with worry, braving the dangers of the forest to search for him. When I told him that, Lev finally seemed to grasp the situation.
I really messed up, didn't I? I'm sorry.
Are you sure I'm the person you should be saying that to? I stood up and smiled at Lev. He and his family all seemed like really good people. The only thing they needed to patch their home back together was a long heart-to-heart.
Mother said she would bring us salvation. It was a glorious message, and for that she gained a devoted following. As for me, how could I doubt the woman who pulled me from the fiery wreck, who raised me as her own? I thought that together we would save the Sky Realm, even if it meant cutting down any who opposed us. But over time, the sacrifices began to mount. I struggled. My reason battled with my heart, which battled with my conscience. Mother was pure and righteous, but to sacrifice the entire Sky Realm... No. She just lost her way for a bit. She'd wake up one day and see she had strayed. As her child, as her defender, I wanted to believe that she'd change for me. Even at the very end, when I was forced to turn my sword on her, I was praying for an alternative. Any alternative. But she would not repent. And I was confronted with the full force of the atrocities I'd committed in Avia's name. But there was one light left to guide me.
Just follow your heart. It might lead you to scary places, but at least you'll know you're being true to yourself.
Thank you, Lyria. If you hadn't reminded me of my own strength, I'd still be in the dark following Lilith. I swear to you that I will fix even more than I destroyed. And one day, perhaps I will be worthy of your forgiveness. "15 years ago, Dolly fell prey to a violent catastrophe. One that still lives etched in my mind. There was an explosion. Immense and sudden. My home went up in flames, and with it the only life I had ever known. People were fleeing and dying in all directions. The air was filled with screams. The smell of burning. Then, I heard it. The soul-piercing roar of a dragon. My short life should have come to an end that day. Except...
Shh. It's okay. Let me be the one to save you.
Salvation came in the form of a kind woman. Her name was Lilith, prophet of the pilgrims of Avia. From that day forth, she was both my mother and mentor. I worshipped her. And the thing about devotion is, it makes you blind. Mother had followers in the hundreds, thousands, and my simple child's mind thought, well, if this many people have faith in her, she has to be good, right? I wanted desperately to be of use to her. So I trained to be the perfect guardian.
Young Id, one day you shall be as mighty as I.
General Galanza taught me how to fight.
You wouldn't want the other pilgrims saying you're riding your mother's coattails, would you? Then you must prove yourself.
General Magliel taught me why we fight. Her training was harsh, but that's how I acquired the makings of a general. All effort, no nepotism. Finally, I had some value to Mother. Her sharpest sword. I never felt happier or more accomplished. I thought we were going to save the Sky Realm. The naivete of it all. After we captured the Shaman of Salvation for Lilith's cause, I was assigned to be the girl's keeper. That made me enemy number one to the Grand Cypher's crew. Every time I took Lyria to a primal beast altar, they'd be there, and we'd fight. I mean, there was a time or two we had to cooperate to prevent widespread calamity. That's beside the point. They were standing in the way of Lilith's mission, opening a path to the Promised Land to Astalucia, and bringing salvation to all Sky Dwellers. Salvation. It's a powerful word in a messed up world like ours. No wonder everyone got roped in by her lies. Lilith was no more than an astral desperate to return to her home dimension, and she would have sacrificed the whole Sky Realm to do it. I tried to reason with her. Might as well have asked an avalanche to change course. So I turned to prayer. But what are hopes and belief without action? So left with no other choice, I joined the crew of the Grand Cypher to dispatch my own mother. But I never could have foreseen what would happen next. Lilith did something, and freed a monster from within me. The dragon I'd seen the day Dolly burned, with wings so vast they overshadowed all of Sega Grande. Bahamut Versa. But then I learned, Bahamut didn't cause the Dolly calamity. It had come to stop it. It was Lilith who killed my family and razed my home. She'd only let me live for one reason. She needed a vessel to seal the dragon in, and I was conveniently nearby. She'd raised me to win my loyalty and protect herself from the god of destruction now living inside me. But when I stopped being of use to her, she abandoned me and let me turn into Bahamut. I don't know how to describe the feeling of flesh melting into scales, a fire filling your stomach. All human warmth, human blood seemed to rush from my veins, and it was replaced by an overwhelming urge to destroy. It was like being swept away in a torrent. Any attempt to fight it only made the suffering worse. I was so tempted to give in. But the crew wouldn't let me. Apparently, the captain was sure I wouldn't lose my soul battle with Bahamut. So to help me along, they decided to beat on the dragon from the outside until he coughed me up. Yeah, not the most elaborate plan. But it worked. The whole time they were fighting, they called my name, and the sound of their voices brought me back. I split myself from Bahamut, then joined the crew to take it down. We had our losses, though. Bahamut hit me and the captain with a blow that sent us hurtling into another dimension. A man named Roland dove in to save us, sacrificing himself along the way. And that's how we came back to Folka without him. Roland used to be the local Mr. Fix-It, by the way. And I took up that mantle. I owed him that much. And I figured it'd be a first step in making amends. And that's where this new chapter in my life begins. Me, as the new Mr. Fix-It. After clearing up some requests, I thought I'd earn some, I don't know, respect, honor, from the Crew Alliance Rafale. But it seems you can't buy forgiveness so easily.
Ahem. So I believe we're all aware of Avia's assault on Seed Hollow.
She looked straight at me as she spoke. The actions of the pilgrims, myself included, had left a number of locals without homes. There was a plan to resettle volunteers in Tempeel. Give them a fresh start.
They're going to be out in the open, moving, building. This includes children and the elderly. Your job would be to protect the settlers until their homes are up. Trustworthy Skyfarers only.
Hey, don't push yourself. You can sit this one out, you know.
Rackham lay a hand on my shoulder, but I shook my head at him. We take it. This is right. I couldn't stay stuck in the past forever. I needed to move on. I needed to help those I hurt move on. It wasn't an easy choice, though. Our patron, the family who was bankrolling this mission, didn't know I'd worked for Avia. And I didn't know if I had the guts to tell them. Yeah, I know. How am I supposed to atone for crimes I'm too scared to admit? Still, one step at a time. Too much of a coward to take responsibility? Fine. I could at least start by repairing some of the damage I'd done. I'd make sure the settlers built in peace. And if one of them happened to find out about my past, then that would be that. I'd accept whatever punishment they saw fit to give me. It didn't matter where I hid or how far I ran. Retribution would find me eventually. The ride to Tempeel was uneventful. The proposed relocation site was set near an old storehouse by the river. There was water here, and the building could be repurposed for homes. The migrants dragged their feet and often looked back towards Seed Hollow. Most had been born and raised there. We'd been hired as bodyguards, but for the time being at least, all was quiet. Just the sound of wind and running water. Patrols didn't take long, and only 1 or 2 people had to go at a time. The rest of us found other ways to keep busy. Carrying supplies, repairing the storehouse, prepping materials, cooking. Whatever needed doing, we did it. While the adults were building the new body of the village, the children, they were forming the new heart of it. It's amazing how kids can find happiness in just about anything. The world's fresh and new to them. Down by the river, they discovered unfamiliar plants and bugs with funny shapes. In the old storehouse, they looked for hidden treasure and lost stories. Sure, sometimes they got in the way of work and were scolded, but you could tell the adults appreciated having the kids around. It gave them hope. Io and Lyria were their self-appointed babysitters. They called it serious work, but it looked like fun and games to me. Those kids didn't have a care in the world. Well, all except one of them. There was a girl who would always glance my way, pretty much from day one of this job. I say girl, but she was a Harvin, so her age was hard to pinpoint. But she played with the kids more than she worked, so I assumed. Anyways, turned out she was a teenager. That would explain the looks she gave me. I don't think any kid could have been filled with such fear, such anger, such hate. Didn't take much to guess why she had a grudge against me. But she made sure I knew. It happened one day when I was on my way to the storehouse to stack some freight. She was in my path, and since I had a load of boxes in my arms, I almost bowled her over.
Don't come closer!
Her voice was loud and shrill. I won't hurt you. I promise.
Yeah, right. Everyone else might have forgotten you, but I haven't. We're here because of you.
Her name was Shiralu, 14 years old. Parents volunteered to come on this resettlement mission after they had lost their livelihoods back in Seed Hollow. She had reason to hate me. During this whole exchange, I felt strangely relieved. No more waiting in the shadows, trying to work up the courage to atone. Atonement had come for me.
Why are you here? To take our new homes?
Never. I only wished I were better with words, to convey even a fraction of the guilt I felt, to give her even the slightest comfort. Not a day goes by where I don't regret what I've done. I wanted to tell her I was ready to repent, but my voice came out flat, insincere.
I don't believe that for a second! You're a liar! A liar and...
But she was cut off by warning bells. I raced back to the settlement center, where I found Rackham.
Goblin sighting! Get everyone inside the gates, pronto!
His voice rose up over the cacophony.
An attack! But my father just left for the storehouse!
Remain here. I'll find him. I left without waiting for a response.
Come on! Just like we practiced! Into the gates!
We'll handle the goblins.
Is everyone safe?
Should be. Why we're here, isn't it? Now come on, we got goblin tail to kick.
Watch out for the shooter! I'll fix it!
It's over!
Don't try too hard now. What do you think?
Leave it to me!
Cut them
If
down!
you insist! Don't let him get!
Understood. You make a good point.
They got some sort of problem!
Even the sweetest brother. What do you think?
That stupid shield! Great!
It's over! Perish!
There's more here. They're trying the pincer maneuver. Vern, you watch over the settlers.
Got it! Leave it to me!
The roses shall protect you. Unfurl your beautiful The next one's mine. Crimson Cut them down. The time is right. Get them, Mary. Now's our chance. I'm on it.
There's so many. They all come from.
Heard this place used to be Monster Central. Guess these are the stragglers.
Bad news, guys! Some girl named Shiralu has gone missing! No! What if she...
Don't assume anything, Lyria. First, we secure the area, then we start a search. Time is right.
Took out the Harvey.
Id, do you know something?
Great, we'll get the search party started. Right after these messages.
My God. What do you think?
It's over!
Come, Crimson Thorn! What do you think? Come, Crimson Thorn!
It's over!
And stay down.
Hey! I heard Shiralu's near the windmill!
Yeah, that sounds about right. She was worried about her dad.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's go! Heads up! There's another goblin band over here!
What? Shirolu, where did you go?
Focus on the fight at hand. Here they come.
Please be okay.
Good job, team!
I'll always be by your side. I adore you.
As for the needle, it stays poisoned! Take my phone. One on is right. No falling under mine.
Well done.
Crimson Thorn.
They're open. I'm behind.
Take this!
Great work. And here I can go all day long. What do you think?
Leave your red!
Even the sweetest rose.
Is someone there? Shirolu!
Don't worry, we're here to help. Do you think you can stay hidden for a bit?
Yeah, I can do that. Thank you.
There's more? Out of my way!
Wait, I recognize that voice.
Welcome to my god.
Let's head.
Rosetta!
Try to run. Catalina, understood. Captain,
My turn now! Tempest Flame!
shine as one. Time of chaos. Thanks, Vern.
Skyfarer is always accurate!
They're wide open!
Cut them down.
On my mark!
Indeed. Cut them down. You take the lead.
This is why we're the best!
Yeah, we did that.
Let's just focus on the path
keep it
ahead.
up.
Looks like we're all clear. You can come out now, Shirolu.
It was a close call, but we managed to find Shirolu in time.
Everything's going to be okay now. Thank you.
Lyria ran over to the girl. I don't think Shirolu was injured, but her face was pale, and her lips were tight. It had to have been me. The reason she looked so pained. If I hadn't forced her from her home, she wouldn't have almost lost her life. I turned and walked a few steps. I'll secure the way back. Bring her when she feels better.
Wait, Id.
Shirolu needed good people around her. What did I ever bring but suffering?
Yes, can I help? Here it is.
The day after the goblin attack, I had an unlikely visitor. Shirolu.
You didn't have to save me, but thank you.
That took me completely off guard. I searched wildly in my mind for a response, but all that came out was... I was just trying to do the right thing.
Look, Avia almost destroyed Seed Hollow, and I won't ever forgive you for that. Do you know how many people were hurt?
I'm sorry. Like I said, words, not my strong point. Is there any way I can make amends? I will do anything. She looked at me for a moment, her lips working, searching for an answer. Her eyes slowly welled up with tears.
Can you bring back the dead? I didn't think so.
If I could trade my life for even one I'd taken, I'd have done it in a heartbeat. But she was right. Those people were gone, and never coming back.
I can't talk about this now. Maybe I shouldn't have come. Have a good... goodbye.
She turned and walked away. Her voice shook the entire time we were talking. With anger, I guessed. And grief. But she'd still forced herself to thank me. It hit me then how kind she was. If Avia had never existed, she might have never known the corrosive influence of hate. Our crimes went beyond the people we killed. Even those that survived, they now had to live with the trauma and sleepless nights. It was all so heavy. I was beginning to see that I'd never be able to atone. Not if I had 100,000 years and all the power in the skies. We now knew the settlement was a prime target for goblins. We'd cleared out a band of them, but there would always be more. We decided to tighten our defenses. More frequent patrols with bigger teams. I was quick to volunteer for the first shift. Lyria, Vern, and the captain came along.
Hey, we noticed things are kind of tense between you and Shiralu. Do you want to talk about it?
Lyria kept pace beside me, peering up into my face. What's there to say? My past was for me to solve. I didn't need to make the crew part of my guilt.
She knew, didn't she, that you were once part of Avia?
All right, fine. Who was I kidding? No one kept secrets with these three around. Someone was going to find out eventually. Just don't worry about it. But Vern and Lyria pushed back.
We're buds now, right? Your problems are my problems.
Exactly. We can talk to Shiralu together. This is your chance to make things right.
You know, sometimes when you feel lost in a hostile world, that's all it takes to put things into perspective. A few kind words. Okay. But there's no half-assing it. Whatever Shiralu asks, we give it to her. Do you understand? I was offered no answer, but their eyes told me enough. Sins are only burned away through atonement. This was the way things had to be. We walked for a while in silence, until finally the captain nodded. And I was told the crew would do what was right.
Another letter from Al arrived. Hazel had fully recovered and was bouncing about with unbridled energy. Al had returned to work on the reconstruction site and was working twice as hard to make up for lost time.
Is it just me, or is his writing messier?
It wasn't just Vern. Not only were there more missing words and misspellings than usual, the lines of Al's letters were harsh and tangled. Evidently, he'd scrawled them in a great hurry between jobs.
I got a bad feeling that next up, it's gonna be Al himself stuck in bed.
I shared Vern's sentiment. This was a boy willing to pick herbs from death's very garden for his sister. There was not an ounce of self-restraint in his character. I could only hope that he would emerge from this trial unscathed. Reading Al's third letter made my head buzz and my hands go numb.
Help! Hazel got sick again. Doctor says you don't know what's happened. The medicine we made don't work no more. What do we do?
It struck me that I, a Skyfarer they had only met once, was all the help these children had left to turn to.
Adelina, I'm worried about Hazel.
Lyria, who had been reading over my shoulder, looked as pale as death, and I thought I heard the fierce thudding of her heart. Let's head back to Folka, quickly. We learned not long afterwards that the captain, who at times seemed to command a sixth sense, had already asked Rackham to set course for the city. Al, Hazel, don't lose hope. Help is on the way. When we arrived at Folka, Al came out to greet us. I noticed he wouldn't meet any of our eyes and ducked his head like he was hiding from the world. The doctor had examined Hazel from head to toe, but as far as his eyes could tell, there was nothing wrong with her.
Hazel says all she needs to get better is some wraith ring eggs, but I just don't know.
Al's voice was so small, I could hear the distance between us. Not physical, but emotional. He explained reluctantly that the Wraithwing was a bird which lives among the ancient ruins of Dali Island.
Actually, forget it. We've made you guys do too much already. We'll figure something out.
His smile didn't quite reach his eyes, which were enclosed in dark circles. The reconstruction effort must have been hounding him, and he was apparently not its only victim. Hazel had fallen ill around when Al began overexerting himself. I think I see what's going on here. Gently pushing aside Al's objections, we left to search for a Wraithwing nest. The task ahead, though dangerous, was for brother as much as it was for sister. I'll take point. This area seems promising. Be on the lookout for tracks. This is quite a rare find. We'd better add it to our provisions. It may come in useful later.
Sacred winds! Finish this! We'll conclude this!
What's this?
This cargo's sure been roughed up.
Large talon marks and scattered feathers. The culprit is probably a Wraithwing.
Let's see if it's left any other tracks. Look! More feathers! I think we're getting warmer!
Catalina! Catalina, over there!
That's it. It matches the description perfectly. That's our Wraithwing.
Ah! What's with all the party crashers?
Stay calm. I'll get us out of this. Very well. Fantastic. My God. Goodbye. Devastation!
After them!
Let us... Roger!
Don't let up.
Right. I won't lose focus.
Come, Crimson Thorn! No falling under my rule.
Into my trap!
No! Here we go!
I'm with you!
Don't move! No, it's fine!
Your training's paying off, Captain. I'll finish this! I'll protect you from anything.
Speedy recovery!
Prepare yourself!
Nice! Now come on! We've got a bird to catch!
I'll finish this!
These stupid monsters don't quit! You ready, Cat?
Always. I'll freeze them in their tracks.
No falling under my rule. Unfurl your flux.
Beautiful.
Clarity!
Thanks.
Never enough!
Time for you to go.
You guys okay?
Thanks. Take them down.
I'll do it.
Cut them down.
Here goes nothing!
Don't let up yet.
Stop! You've got it!
Lead the way.
I won't fail you. Stay with me. I'll support.
Forward, Vegeta!
Come, Crimson
Prepare
Thorn!
yourself. Come now. Cut them down.
Well
You are a blessing. You have my blade whenever you need it.
Look! The bird! It's watching us really closely. Whoa! Looks like it's got giant talons and a nasty temper. Be careful, Catalina!
It's all right, Vern. I won't let that overgrown turkey hurt us. Let's go.
No more!
I see through you.
What do you think? Am I a fool?
Now!
Unfurl your flux.
I'll finish this!
No falling under my watch.
Prepare yourself!
It's over!
Devastation!
Crimson Thorn!
You want more? Don't.
I have it.
It's over!
Catalina!
I'm on it! Blaze of frost! Rosetta, I'm here to help.
Sullen Rose! Captain, way ahead of me!
I'll finish this!
Shine as one! Time to chaos!
Do it again! Right, look out for any large attacks. Sorry to trouble you.
I'm coming!
I can still follow her. Such brutality. I can still follow her.
In there!
I thank you.
You're mine!
Close call.
Never
Heal.
Good timing.
Protecting something.
Of course. It's trying to defend its nest. No wonder it's so desperate.
Well, we're desperate too. Hazel and Al are counting on us.
We're together.
Thanks. I'm ready.
Take this!
No more. Take my thorn. Finish this.
Keep it up.
Granblue. Even the sweetest rose. Everything we've got. Understood. We'll conclude this. There it is. One fell blow. Time's up. Full bloom. It's over. No more. You have my blade. Don't mention it. I'll finish this. Unfurl your bluff. Fantastic. The time is right. Right. Look out for any large attacks. No escape.
You guys okay?
You monster.
Catalina,
This is the end.
I'll be right there. There you go.
I'm all better now. Such brutality.
Help is on the way. Don't give up on me now.
Sorry, I got careless.
Unbound!
Whoa!
Get back! Catch her now!
All right! Take that, you big chicken!
We just need to search the nest and collect the eggs. I can't help feeling guilty, though.
We're so sorry, Miss Wraithwing. We promise we won't take more than we need.
Was that all? I took our prize to the dining hall. But weighing on me was the thought that Hazel had likely told Al a white lie. It's said that one bite of a Wraithwing egg sends waves of energy coursing through your body. I guess that she wanted the meal not for herself, but for her exhausted brother.
I'm so sorry.
My suspicions were confirmed when I returned from the canteen to find Hazel apologizing to the crew.
Catalina, we need to tell you something.
I cut Al off. I knew speaking the words would hurt him. It was better that he didn't give sound and substance to unnecessary guilt. I don't know what's troubling you, but you have to eat. It's the only way the two of you will get better. Food and comfort. That was all I could afford them.
All right. Is your stomach growling? Give it what it wants.
Yes, can I help? Right.
The bustling streets and alleyways of Seed Hollow were steeped in an unusual silence. Rumors of the phantom sightings had spread, and the citizens became too fearful to leave their homes. We were still missing a part of the picture, but what was it?
I'm sure it was just someone's minds playing tricks on them.
Poor Lyria. I needed to wrap up this investigation as quickly as possible. However, despite our comprehensive search of the castle, nothing stood out as unordinary. We'll have to come back another day. Just then, I noticed a faint movement in the corner of my eye. Wait, it couldn't be.
Huh? What are these guys doing here? We already took care of Granblue.
Ominous forms. Foul creatures born from the primal beast Granblue. Surely they weren't the cause of the sightings, were they? I had my doubts, but this was no time for questions. The castle was in dire need of some pruning. Such hostility. It seems we've no choice but to fight.
You sure these are the ghosts we're looking for?
Take my very well. Full bloom! What do you think? Full bloom! We'll uncover the truth soon, so hang in there, okay? This place will need more than a restoration if we don't do something about this. Fight harder! Take my form! Spiral Road! Looks like it's clear for now. Shall we?
Did you see that?
Interesting. She supposedly disappears if you attempt to get close. But perhaps that wasn't the entire truth. Fight harder! Our job's not finished yet. Shall we? They've infested the entire courtyard. Who's ready for a pruning?
Enough of you!
What do you think? Come, Crimson Thorn! Take my soul after me!
Armor break!
Fighting up close won't do us good here.
Sounds to me like it's time for a ranged battle. That's right up your alley, isn't it?
Fall with the blossoms.
Never enough!
They hunt from underground! You can't lose track of them!
It's over! Check this!
More? There's such a thing as being too popular, you know? Did you miss it? You want more, don't you? Quite a tenacious bunch, aren't they? Question is, where are they coming from?
Feat at your hand pushed me to improve myself.
There's still more of them? Get a clue already!
I'll finish this! Into the fray! You have my aid!
Rosetta, I'm speechless.
I have that effect on mortals. How beautiful! That should be the last of them.
Huh. And stay out!
Wait a second. What is that? What's this? A crystal fragment. I took a closer look. Within its faded luster was a familiar green aura. But where had I seen it before?
Hold up a second! Doesn't that remind you of those hallowed ground spots?
Vern was right. Its glow was nearly identical to the crystals found on hallowed grounds. Their unique aura kept monsters at bay, providing travelers with safe haven. Did this shard come from one?
It's faint, but Excavalian's aura. I can feel it coming from inside.
That couldn't be. I focused on the crystal splinter in hand, and indeed, there was the presence of a familiar primal. Excavalian was the primal beast of Dolly Island, much farther than a stone's throw from here. So why were we able to feel its presence all the way in Seed Hollow?
It's not the only one. I think I can feel another primal beast here too.
Another primal? How could that be possible? A phantom girl, Excavalian, ominous forms, and now another primal beast. None of it made any sense. As we unraveled more of the castle's secrets, it became clear that we had barely scratched the surface of its walls.
Yeah?
Yes, can I help you?
We were back at square one. In hopes of finding some new leads, we split up and interviewed every Seed Hollow local we could find. Despite our efforts, we found little new information. Zothba and his connections, on the other hand, proved invaluable once more as they unearthed a new clue. The girl wore a crown of flowers. I froze in place. I knew this primal. In fact, I learned of her on my first visit to Zega Grande. Konohana Sakuya, was it? Yes. An ethereal girl bearing a floral crown? It had to be her. Her presence would explain why Lyria sensed a primal beast in addition to Excavalian. She was pack-bound to Ulmarine Island, and she held domain over blossoming flowers. The unusually vibrant bouquets blooming across Seed Hollow just added more proof of her proximity. With the culprit identified, only one problem remained. Me. After what Sakuya and I went through, I doubt she would ever show herself around me again. Before I could share this revelation, there was something else I needed to discuss with the crew. Not about Konohana Sakuya, but my time spent with the captain's father. His crew was on a journey to collect Astrum fragments. These fragments were said to have fallen straight from the astral realm and contained the power of the primal beasts themselves. Using the fragments, the captain's father could separate astral power embedded within primal beasts and return them to their original forms. That was the purpose of his journey. His was a mission of liberation, to free so-called deities and legends who were tethered to the sky realm. Once free from the shackles of their corporeal forms, they could fade back into the nebulous ideas and faiths that had given them structure in the first place. Of course, it would be up to the primal beasts themselves to make this decision. Some had grown quite fond of living in the sky realm. However, there were countless others who were born into the skies, cursed to fight for eternity. These were the ones who longed for a return to the immaterial. At the lowest point in my existence, when I felt I had no purpose in these skies, I'm sure I felt the same. Regardless, some were quick to brand us a ruthless crew of primal hunters. And surely Konohana Sakuya had heard the rumors. But the question remained, why had she decided to reveal herself to me now? Unfortunately, simply knowing the identity of the girl would not solve the problem of her many phantom appearances.
So, is this, Kahuna Yakuza? You think she's the one causing the monsters to come out?
Unlikely. I've never met her in person, but I don't think she and the ominous forms are connected in the slightest.
Yo, got some new intel on the girl. You're still, working the case, right?
The family Zothba had been continuing to search for clues in the background, and thankfully, their search bore fruit. In one of the areas where the ghostly girl was sighted, a bystander had found an ancient book.
Broke my brain trying to read the dumb thing, but you're smart and pretty smart and, well, yeah.
Oh, poor boy couldn't even get his words straight. Thank you. You're quite the gentleman.
No, I'm not. I'm a badass. Anyway, I should get going.
He had barely placed the book in my hands before scurrying off. What had gotten into him, I wonder? I opened the book and peered through the rune-like characters inside. No normal person would be able to decipher this.
Oh, that looks really complicated. Really? Let me see.
When Vern approached the book, Roland's transceiver began to glow. It illuminated the text, somehow morphing the illegible script into something readable. My breath caught in my chest. Had an astral authored this book? The text seemed to be a log from an experiment of sorts. Although it was barely legible, I tried to grasp its meaning. Originally, it was Excavalion, primal beast of fortification, who forged a pact with Almarine Island. Although it's unclear why, Excavalion would eventually migrate to Dali, leaving Konohana Sakuya to take its place on Almarine. That was all I could make out of the texts. With this new information, I needed to re-examine the facts. First, the stage. Almarine Island, home to Seed Hollow and its citizens, once protected by Excavalion. Next, a curious switch. Konohana Sakuya takes its place as the island's pact-bound primal. Now, our present mysteries. A crystal shard replete with Excavallion's aura. On Graminu's altar beneath the castle, the ominous forms. And finally, Konohana Sakuya's curious reappearance. Think, Rosetta. Was the shard left behind by Excavalion? Did it serve a purpose in protecting the island? It was possible that Avia's invasion of Seed Hollow destroyed this mechanism, causing the primal to reveal herself in defense.
Now that I think about it, the ghost rumors started to pop up only after that crystal beneath the castle was destroyed.
So, it was all connected. There's no time to explain, but more ominous forms will appear if we don't repair this island's defense system. Where could we find another fortifying crystal?
How about Dolly? That's where Excavalion lives now, right? Maybe it's got a spare lying around.
Indeed. If we were to find a solution to our problems, it would be buried beneath those churning sands. If I'm not mistaken, we should come across a guardian crystal not too far from here. Let's take a look. Around those hills. Do you remember where we fought that griffin? Oh, oops. Didn't mean to wake you. Mind letting us pass through?
Winter's Ray!
The roses shall protect you. Full bloom! Come, Crimson Thorn! Not quite the crystal we're looking for. A wild monster's den. I'd like to avoid needless bloodshed if possible. No falling under my watch. What do you think? Come, Crimson Thorn!
Ugh, that ain't it. I don't think we're in the right place. Let's try to hit up that hilly area. Nothing this way either, huh? Nothing this way either, huh? Nothing this way either, huh? Excavalion. It's faint, but I can feel it.
Did we find it?
A cobra! It must have been waiting to
What do you
strike.
think? It seems words won't work here. Get ready, everyone. Right away.
You're through!
After you!
So, you're an astral war
Hell,
machine?
Sure. But I don't belong to them anymore. Not today.
Take this!
You want more, don't you? Careful. Don't let it strike you to death. Did you miss your pool,
Good timing.
What? Take my thorns. Beautiful, aren't they?
All right then!
Very well.
Okay.
Now,
Speedy recovery!
where were we?
Wow, we did it! Let's take this crystal back to Seed Hollow.
Shortly after securing a crystal from Dolly, we returned to Seed Hollow Castle. We installed the new crystal beneath the castle, causing a pale green light to illuminate the area. It was the familiar aura of hallowed ground, sure to repel any lingering ominous forms.
It's too bad we couldn't meet her. Konohana Sakuya.
The mystery had been solved on nearly all fronts. I'd be lying if I said I was completely satisfied, however. After all was said and done, I still didn't get the opportunity to clear the air with her.
Yeah? Yes, can I help you?
I'm gonna go get this report turned in.
Much thanks, Captain. Paperwork is...
Since the crew started helping Id with his job as the new Mr. Fix-It, we'd been really busy. The shop was completely flooded with requests. Those sad days when the Islanders didn't trust Id, they seemed like a lie now.
Lyria, how are you feeling today?
Id asked me that every time we met. We're all worried about you. How's the lifelink holding up? Right, our lifelink. Everyone thought it might have weakened when I was absorbed by Angra Mainyu. Honestly, I had been really scared back then. But now, with the weight of the sky off our shoulders, I felt better than ever. I flashed Vern and Id a smile to let them know I was okay. Talking about the lifelink brought back memories, and I realized Id still knew almost nothing about our adventures. I began by explaining Catalina's daring rescue of me and our escape from the Erste Empire. Then I described the big trees of Zinkenstill and the Imperial Hydra, and the sad reason I needed to make the lifelink with the captain. Eventually, we met Rackham and Io, Rosetta and Eugen. And before we knew it, our ship was full.
It's really amazing how much our family has grown. The whole time I'd sat there, in silence, yes, but I could tell he was giving me 110% of his attention.
Since getting to Zega Grande, we've had a heck of a wild ride. But now that things have calmed down, we can get to making some good memories.
Sure.
I think I'm starting to understand Id. Sure, he has two modes, cold and colder. But if you really pay attention, you can see he has a warm enough heart. Id, the captain, the crew, you're the best friends I could ever ask for. Here's to hoping we'll be together forever. After some exciting paperwork, I returned to find Lyria and Vern taking Id on a walk down memory lane.
You guys have seen some amazing things.
This was coming from someone who survived Lilith's schemes and won a mind battle with a god dragon. I guess game recognizes game.
It's all because the captain looks out for us. Yep, my butt is epic. You saw him save Lyria and this whole freaking skydom.
I turned to look at Vern, open-mouthed. Where was all this coming from?
I'm just trying to be vocal about my appreciation, remember? So yeah, take care of Lyria and keep up the good work.
I could certainly manage that. Oh, just remembered, Sierra got us a whole bag of sweets as thanks for all our hard work. Lyria and Vern exchanged a glance so charged, I thought the air between them was going to burst into flames.
You should have told us that first. Early dragon gets the grub.
Hey, no fair. Come on, Vern. Wait! And just like that, they were off. Foodies, right?
Captain, you got a moment?
I turned around, about to ask, you want some too? But one look at Id's knitted brow, and the question died on my lips.
Let's duel.
Did I just hear that right? Why, though? Did he have something against cookies?
Sorry. It was the stories about your adventures. They put the thought into my head.
Oh, that's why. Nah, I still got nothing.
I want to protect Lyria just as much as you do.
He stalked away then, and left me staring after him. I was still having trouble piecing together his train of thought, but one thing was clear. He was doing it for Lyria's sake. The duel was to take place at Halewind Altar. Lots of memories there. It's where we first met Id. Where I lost to him, and Lyria was taken from us.
Do you guys really have to do this?
We're friends now, right? Friends don't fight each other. Lyria and Vern tried to talk me out of it the whole way there, but I just kept thinking of the look in Id's eye. He wasn't going to back down, and I respected that.
Captain.
Id had been staring into the distance, like a statue set to guard the altar. He turned when he heard our footsteps.
Now that we've gotten to know one another, I've come to realize something. There's no one that can keep Lyria safe better than you.
He took deliberate steps towards me, but this was nothing like the first time we met. He'd been terrifying then, like a hydra closing in on its prey. But now, there was something softer about the light in his eyes. You could tell he was there to help.
You're the real thing. A hero. You didn't just save Lyria, you saved the skies. And I thought, maybe if we crossed blades again, I'd learn something. Something that would help me be more like you.
Id. I finally got it. Id and I. There was still a part of us that couldn't tear away from that fateful day at Halewind Altar, when Id had been a bad guy, and I'd been too weak to protect Lyria. But things were different now, and this fight was going to prove it. I'm not losing this time.
I'd be disappointed if you did.
I drew my sword and took the first step forward.
Let's do this. Give me everything you've got.
Okay, right back at you.
Please, just promise me you two will be careful.
Nice hit.
I'm not backing down. Mercy is for the weak.
We already knew this, but it's pretty much unstoppable.
We'll see about that.
I believe in you, bud. Show him how much you powered up.
I've grown too.
Worn out now.
Here comes healing.
Keep up. I have. You're dust. Now it begins. Let's up the ante.
Gonna take more than that to beat me.
Spinning. You won't escape me. Captain. Supposed to protect Lyria like that.
I'm not out yet.
You can do it.
Keep up.
Armor break.
Mercy is for the weak. Break!
Have some clarity.
Take this! Is that come? Come! 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 You're dust!
Do it.
No running.
Mercy is for the weak.
Want to give up?
You wish. Just getting started.
Oh, I can't look anymore. It's working! Not quite. Come on! You've got it!
Keep up. You
Let's stay cautious. Here comes healing.
spinning. You won't escape me.
Go for broke.
Easy fight.
You're no slouch yourself. Bruised but still smiling. That's my blood. Come on. Still a little longer. Fight is finished. Choke on this. Tempest Blade! Gotta keep it up. Yep, this'll do.
You're dust. Thank you, Captain.
No. Thank you. I won. I stood, almost doubled over with my hands on my knees, trying to remember how to breathe. Id staggered over and stuck a clenched hand in my face. Yeah, of course he'd go for a fist bump. I tapped his knuckles lightly with mine, and just like that, we were back to being loyal crewmates. That duel had blown away all our regrets. No more looking over our shoulders. It was time to move past, well, our past. Hello there.
there. What do you think?
Hey, heard about your little spat with Id. Wish I still had that kind of energy.
Eugen gave me a hearty slap between the shoulder blades.
The chills I got when watching them. Man, they were going all out.
Of course Vern had told everybody. I could appreciate honesty and openness throughout the crew, but I clearly needed to have a talk with that dragon about minding his own business.
So you're jealous Lyria's making new friends? What, do you have a crush or something? Yo, don't be silly. That's not what this was about at all.
As Lyria tried to explain the situation, I stood there with a smirk. She's cute when she's flustered. It had been a wild ride, but things were finally back to normal. I couldn't get the duel with Id out of my mind. He had been a perfect storm, placing his whole heart behind every blow. I had to remember what I was fighting for to even stand a chance. To be honest, I still don't think I'm stronger than him. I won this battle, yeah, but both of us are still changing, still growing. Who knows how it'll turn out if there's a next time? But I doubt we'll ever need to fight like that again. Id trusts me now. I can feel that just as much as I felt the shock of his sword clashing against mine. Trust is nice, but it always comes with responsibility. Still, that's the weight I signed up to carry when I became the captain of the Grand Cipher, and took Lyria's hand all that time ago.
We really don't get a break.
For sure. It felt like everybody in Zega Grande had a job for Mr. Fix-It. Today's request? Just taking down a monster that can demolish a small village with a sneeze. No biggie. Vern, could you get us some potions?
You betcha! Liquid health coming right up!
Lyria, we're about to head out. Mind letting the rest of the crew know?
Sure, no problem.
I took a deep breath, letting it settle in my chest before releasing. We had a game plan, of course, but you never know how these things will go. Timing, coordination, everything had to be perfect.
We'll be fine. I trust you, and so does everyone else.
Id put a hand on my shoulder, and somehow, that weight steadied me. We'd figure things out. We always did. I exchanged a nod with him, and we headed for the docks. The rest of the crew was already there, waving their arms in the air. From the smiles on their faces, you'd think we were going for a tropical vacation in a goose day. Well, either way, I was sure we'd all come out of it in one piece. We had a bright future ahead of us.
You think we can find the flower? That sounds like a good idea.
Karzeda spoke haltingly, as if remembering the times he shared with his beloved friend. She'd always loved flowers. Tempil was a land forged by its mines, and its climate wasn't suitable for flowers. But that wasn't going to stop her. As if that thread of memory had unspooled another, Karzeda said that his friend mentioned having a secret flower garden. But she hadn't told him the location, so he wasn't sure where to begin looking.
Sometimes she'd head out to a forest near Folka. If the garden's anywhere, it's probably somewhere in there.
It might be a long shot, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. I drained the last of my glass. We stepped out of the tavern. The rain had stopped. The air was humid, but the sun was a welcome sight after the rain. I squinted up at the brilliant blue sky. There, arcing over the forest, was a large rainbow.
Days passed, and the demeanor of the settlers when they were around me began to change. Bright eyes turned into cold stares. Open hands clenched into fists, smiles morphed into sneers. They had begun avoiding me, too. It was easy enough to guess why. On an afternoon, buried under gray clouds, the rest of the crew gathered around me in a show of solidarity. I'd recommend keeping your distance. I'm a known criminal now. I stared ahead of me into empty space. Maybe Shiraloo had told the others about me. Maybe she hadn't. What did it matter? The truth was bound to come out eventually. This was justice.
But Ed, you didn't hurt anyone because you wanted to. You were being controlled.
The captain knelt beside me and pointed out excuses I'd rehearsed in my mind 1,000,000 times before. That as a child, I couldn't have known the difference between right and wrong. That as an adult, I was blinded by my love for Lilith. That in choosing to turn against my family for the sake of the skies, I had sacrificed the most. Yeah, I had misguided intentions. So what? If that were a real defense, we wouldn't have any villains, would we? I deserve to be judged for my actions, and my actions alone. They all fell silent after that.
On days without work, I would meditate on the deck of the Grand Cipher. One day, the voice of Vern broke through my meditations.
I don't know. She looks pretty wound up. Wouldn't she usually have dozed off by now? I'm telling ya, something's going on.
He was livelier than ever. Perfect.
You shouldn't push yourself too hard, Narmaya.
And sweet, tender Lyria. Yes, this was how things should be. I cracked open my eyes and stole a hopeful glance at the captain. But on that kind face, I could read only worry and distress. I wanted nothing more than to comfort my darling. No, I was acting for their sakes. I had already come so far. If I could just hold to my path a little longer, make the skies a little safer, then I could go back to being their big sister. I needed more strength. I needed to be worthy of this family. The crew of the Grand Cipher was powerful, but in the end, we were only small people in a vast sky, filled with endless dangers. If I didn't get stronger, one day that sky would engulf us. I had to protect them. I could protect them. All I was lacking was time. I couldn't believe it. I rushed back to Zero after every mission, but that day the captain had dropped by without my knowledge and taken up a request, a particularly treacherous one. It was careless to think that Zero would reserve every single dangerous job for me.
The Grand Cipher crew's more than capable of handling it.
Couldn't she see? The universe worked in dark and mysterious ways, Their lives were always in danger. If I allowed monsters to wander free through the skies, their rot would continue to seep until I, just one lonely figure, could no longer hold back the tide. I had to hunt them all down. There was not a moment to lose. I had to cut down the root of evil, so it could never spread again. I would not kill out of malice, nor did I seek meaningless violence. But when weighing the lives of my loved ones against the lives of these beasts, the answer was clear. As long as their threat persisted across the skies, the crew would never truly be safe. And so I would wield my blade to protect the crew and the helpless. For the captain, I would become the harbinger of death. Everything is for the captain. My captain. My dearest captain. I would kill, and kill, and kill, and kill. Every last threat. I found the largest known monster's den in this skydom, and began my hunt. Die, for the sake of the skies, and my captain. My blade cut through flesh and bone. Again, again, again and again. And soon, time lost all meaning. How long was I there? Perhaps 3. Or even 4 days. My grip went numb, my vision blurred, my body grew heavy. But I couldn't stop. Not here. With these hands, I would deliver my loved ones. Even if it meant steeping them in blood. Next is 979. I must stay strong. For the captain. Life is a dance. Night falls. Dawnfly stands. The butterfly emerges. I must destroy every threat. Letter. They must all be eliminated. Try again. Come what may. The final song. Fly! Letter. Once more. Come what may. The clouds clear. plans have gone well, but even in death, my sword... and I are one. The pond settles. The final song. Out of my sight. To fear death is to fear home. Not yet. Have an essence! To see me is to see death. Not yet. This is not my destiny. Again. There's more above me. I can feel it.
Here. You have breathed your last. Is 979. I must stay strong. For the captain. I must destroy every threat. Breathe every last one. They must all be eliminated. Crescent Moon! My hands are gone now, but even in death, my sword and I are one. Out of my sight. To fear death is to fear home. How was I so blind? Dawnfly stands. Life is a dance. Fly! To see me is to see death. The final. Once more. Like the dawn. Got him! Slow.
Breathe, Flutter. 999. There's more above me. I can feel it. Here. You have breathed your last. Moonrise. The tide swells. All is swept away. Swift as thought. Let's not do anything rash. Dance of the pink petals. I will take your life, even if it costs me mine! I must protect the captain. The tide rises. Foam on the sea. You're finished. Let's not do anything rash. Dawnfly stick. Is too fearful. This is not my destiny. One stroke. 1,000 deaths. Butterfly effect. Moonrise. Free flutter. Sing, my blade. Fly. Crescent moon.
What can I do you for? Walk right in. Now here's an offer you can't refuse. Don't be a stranger.
Is your stomach growling? Yes. Can I have a nice day?
Got an order? All right, let's get to it. Don't forget about upkeep.
So done.
Welcome. Now here's an offer you can't refuse. Got some goodies for you. Hope this helps. Appreciate the support.
Let's talk. What kind of weapons you need? Don't break it now. I'll handle it. Success. Always aim for the top. What should I strengthen? Come back sometime.
There is no height I cannot climb. I'm getting the hang of this. I will surpass every barrier. Perfect! Nice! Oh my!